Hello College Math students, it's time for some break-even analysis. We're going to apply our understanding of linear modelling to this to find the break-even point for this particular business. This mathematics will be particularly useful in your small business investigation. This is the sort of thing I want you guys to construct for me in that investigation. So we've got Jack constructing wooden coffee tables. Okay. So if you read the information and then try to write down the cost and revenue equations, that's the first thing we need to do. Okay, so let's see the cost equation. Okay, cost is usually associated with red colouring, so I'll use red text for that. Okay, so the cost is equal to, let's see, $50 in materials to construct each table, so 50 by X number of tables, plus $200 for the studio each week. So the cost is equal to 50X plus 200, where X is the number of tables. I'll write that down in a moment, but first I'll put the revenue equation down. Okay, revenue. Well, each table sells for $120, so 120 by X number of tables will be the revenue equation. So X equals the number of tables in both equations. Righto, so we're going to represent this graphically in part B. So I'll do part B down over here. Here was part A over there, but part B. So a good way to do this is to write it in a table. Okay. So we're going to have our cost and revenue and number of tables across the top. So a table like this will work well. And we'll put the cost here and the revenue down below that in black, and we'll have the X number of tables here across the top. It's a bit hard to read. Let's try that again. I'll just write tables. I think you get the idea. So we're going to go from 0 tables up to a maximum of 10 tables. So what's the cost for 0 tables? Let's see. We've got 50 by 0 tables plus 200 will give 200. Actually, I was going to do that in red. So the cost of the studio, if Jack just rented the studio and then did nothing, it would still cost him $200. Okay, what if he makes 10 tables? Okay, so this time we're going to go 50 by 10 tables plus $200. That's going to be $700. So once Jack's made the 10 tables, his costs have risen to $700 because he's had to pay $50 in materials for each table. But then the good part for Jack is he gets to sell the tables. Now, that's going to be his revenue. Okay, so let's see. If Jack doesn't sell any tables, well, obviously that's no revenue. 120 by 0, $0. So Jack's going to hope that he sells all 10 tables. So 120 by 10, which will net him $1,200 in revenue. Okay, so once we've got this table sorted out, we can go and graph this now. Of course, the cost and revenue depend on the number of tables. So X number of tables is our independent variable. And we go up to 10 tables. So if we go up in ones along here, so 5, 10, and we have tables. And then on this axis, we're going to have our cost and revenue. We can just write them together. You don't have to use all these different colours, but just for the purposes of the video, I'll keep the red and the black going. Cost and revenue, and we just put dollars, the dollar symbol there. And we need to go up to at least 1,200. That's the biggest number that's going to need to go on this, the 1,200. Okay, so we're going to go, what will we go up in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like we're going to need to go up in hundreds. So 500, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000. I think that's pretty good. That's going to go up to at least, or go up to 1,300, which will cover us. Okay, so let's do the cost line first. So for 0 tables, the cost is $200. So we're going to go from here. There's 0 and 200, and I'll put the coordinates on here. That can be helpful. And then we're going up 10 tables, $700. So all the way over here, 10 and 700. Righto. And then we join those up, preferably using a ruler. So just go and join the dots. Okay, so now we'll do the revenue line. Okay, $0, 0 revenue, so 0, 0 is our first point. Then all the way up to 10 tables and 1,200. Oops. Up here. And then we'll join these lines up. Okay. And now we can see our break-even point. That's where revenue and cost are equal, where the graph crosses, right here. So what have we got? 1, 2 tables, about 2.5-ish. And because we need the point, we need the money side of things as well. So 1, 2, 300-ish, bit more than 300, say 320. Of course, the graph is always less accurate and less precise than using the equation. So we're going to do this algebraically as well. I'll go on to the next page for this one. So let's check this point that we found, 2.5 and 320. 2.5 tables, $320. Let's check this over the page. Okay, so here we're making the cost. Well, we know that when the revenue equals the cost, we break even. So we break even when revenue equals cost. So that means when 120x is equal to 50x plus 200. Now you've done lots of these types of rearranging, so maybe you want to pause the video now and calculate x, and then I'll have a go at it. Okay, I'll try it now. So I'm going to rearrange this by bringing this 50x over, and it will become a negative 50x. So 120x take 50x equals 200, just switching to one colour now. And that means 70x equals 200. So x is 200 divided by 70. Now if we put that into the calculator and just round to say 2 decimal places, that gives us 2.86 tables, which is a little bit off what we said before, what I said, 2.5. You maybe when you did it on your graph, you got something closer to what the algebraic solution was. Now this needs to go back into these equations up here to check it. and also to get the money, how much money is involved. So 120 by 2.86 equals 50 by 2.86 plus 200. So with this one, we get 343 point something. I think it's 343.2 just from my calculations. I'll just double check that. But it's slightly different because we rounded off the number of tables a little bit. It becomes slightly different. So it's 343.2, and on this side we get exactly 343, but close enough there, okay? So the break-even point algebraically, we'll say is 2.86 and 343. So 2.86 tables and $343. So just a little bit different to what the graph said, but that's very precise using the equations, doing it algebraically. Okay, so Jack's profit for the week if he makes 7 tables. Okay, so we'll just do a little calculation down here for part D. Now, profit is the amount of money you make, and that's equal to revenue minus cost. So what we want to do is calculate the revenue for 7 tables and the cost for 7 tables, and then subtract them from one another and you get the profit. So the revenue, 120 by 7 tables, minus the cost, which is 50 by 7 tables, plus 200. Okay, so 7 by 120, 700, 840 I'm getting, minus, okay, 50 by 7 is 350, and 200, 550 I get. And then 840 take 550 is $290. So if Jack constructs and sells 7 tables, he'll make a profit of $290 for the week. So the break-even analysis is quite involved. It involves a lot of the linear modelling that we've learnt throughout the unit, but make sure that you learn this stuff because it's going to make that small business investigation far more manageable if you can understand this. Aside from that, go ahead and try the questions in the description for the video.